Nobody expected what happened next. 6-year-old Ethan stood frozen. The massive German Shepherd was watching him. Something was terribly wrong. But let's start from the beginning. Ethan had never seen a real farm before. His little hands pressed against the car window. Green fields stretched forever. Red barns dotted the landscape. "Are we there yet, Mom?" Ethan whispered. His mom smiled. "Almost, honey. Aunt Sarah's farm is huge." The car turned down a gravel road. Dust clouds followed behind them. Ethan's heart raced with excitement. This was going to be the best summer ever. Aunt Sarah waved from the porch. She wore dirty overalls and boots. Her smile was as wide as Texas. "Welcome to Nebraska, little man." Ethan jumped out of the car. The air smelled different here. Sweet hay and fresh earth. Something else too. Something animal-like. "Can I see the animals now?" Ethan bounced up and down. "Whoa there, cowboy." Aunt Sarah laughed. "Let's get you settled first." But Ethan was already running. The farmyard called to him. Chickens clucked nearby. A rooster crowed proudly. And somewhere in the distance, strange snorting sounds echoed. That's when he saw him. A magnificent German Shepherd sat by the barn. Black and tan fur gleamed in the sunlight. Alert ears pointed straight up. Intelligent brown eyes watched everything. "That's Max," Aunt Sarah said softly. "He's been here longer than anyone." Max didn't move. He just stared at Ethan. Something passed between them. An understanding. A connection. Ethan took a careful step forward. Max's tail gave one small wag. That was invitation enough. "Hello, Max," Ethan whispered. "I'm Ethan." The dog stood slowly. Each movement was deliberate, graceful. He approached the boy with caution. Then his cold nose touched Ethan's small hand. "He likes you." Aunt Sarah sounded surprised. "Max doesn't warm up to strangers." But Ethan wasn't a stranger anymore. He was family. After lunch, curiosity got the better of Ethan. His parents were napping inside. Aunt Sarah was fixing a tractor. The farmyard stretched before him like a wonderland. He wandered toward the largest pen. Wooden fences stood 6 feet tall. But there were gaps. Small gaps. Just big enough for a curious boy. Strange sounds came from inside. Snorting. Grunting. Movement in the mud. Ethan climbed onto the bottom rail. His little head poked over the fence. His jaw dropped open. "Oh my gosh," he breathed. 8 enormous pink creatures rolled in the mud. They were bigger than any dogs he'd ever seen. Bigger than Max even. But they had cute snouts. Curly tails. They must be some kind of special farm dogs. Pink puppies. Ethan giggled. The animals looked up at him. Curious eyes met his. One of them approached the fence. Its snout was wet and muddy. But its eyes seemed friendly. Ethan had always loved animals. His mom said he had a gift. Dogs followed him home. Cats purred when he walked by. Even squirrels didn't run away. These pink puppies needed his love too. "Don't worry," Ethan called softly. "I'll be your friend." The fence had horizontal rails. Easy to climb. Ethan swung one leg over. Then the other. He dropped into the pen with a soft thud. The mud squished between his sneakers. It smelled earthy and warm. The pink puppies gathered around him. Their snouts nudged his legs gently. "You're so big." Ethan laughed. "And so pink." One pig, because that's what they really were, weighed 300 pounds. Another was even larger. But to 6-year-old Ethan, they were just oversized puppies who needed love. He reached out to pet the nearest one. Its skin felt rough and warm. The pig seemed to enjoy the attention. It pushed closer to Ethan. Then another pig approached. And another. Soon Ethan was surrounded. 8 massive farm pigs clustered around one small boy. They were curious, gentle, but very, very big. Pigs are playful animals. especially when something new enters their space. To them, Ethan wasn't a small human. He was a new playmate. The first push was gentle, almost accidental. A pig bumped Ethan's shoulder while reaching for something. The boy stumbled but stayed upright. "Whoa there, puppy," Ethan giggled. But pigs don't understand gentle the way humans do. Their games involve pushing, shoving, testing strength. It's how they play with each other. The second bump was stronger. Ethan took 2 steps back. His small hands reached for balance. The mud made everything slippery. More pigs joined the game. They pushed from different directions, not meaning harm, just playing. But Ethan was getting confused. "Stop, puppies," he said quietly. "That's too rough." But the pigs couldn't understand. They were having fun. This little visitor was part of their game now. They pushed harder. Ethan stumbled again. This time he fell. Mud splashed around him. His clean clothes turned brown. Tears started forming in his eyes. "I want to go home," he whispered. The pigs didn't stop. They thought he was playing too. Rolling in the mud was their favorite game. They nudged him with their snouts, pushed him with their bodies. Ethan tried to stand. A pig bumped him down again. He tried to crawl toward the fence. Another pig blocked his path. Fear crept into his small heart. These weren't puppies. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Mommy!" Ethan called out. "Help me!" But the farmhouse was far away. His voice barely carried over the pig noises. The snorting, the grunting, the sound of heavy bodies moving through mud. Tears rolled down Ethan's dirty cheek. He curled into a ball. The pigs circled around him, still playing, still pushing. That's when Max heard the cry. From across the farmyard, Max's ears shot up. His head tilted. Something was wrong. That sound, it was distress, fear. A child in trouble. Max had been a farm dog for 8 years. He knew every sound this place made. Happy pig noises, angry pig noises, and this was different. He rose to his feet in one fluid motion. His nose tested the air. Child, fear, pig pen. The scents told a story. Max had rules, strict rules. Never enter the pig pen. Pigs were dangerous for dogs. Too big, too strong. The fence existed for good reasons. But rules meant nothing when a child cried. Max's powerful legs carried him across the yard. Each stride ate up ground. His claws dug into the dirt. His heart pounded with purpose. He reached the pen in seconds. His sharp eyes assessed the situation immediately. The boy, surrounded, afraid. The pigs playing their rough games. This couldn't continue. Max didn't hesitate. He'd never jumped this fence before. Never needed to. But need drove him now. His muscles coiled like springs. He launched himself upward. 6 feet of wooden fence. An impossible jump for most dogs. But Max wasn't most dogs. He cleared the top rail by inches. His paws hit the mud with authority. 8 massive pigs turned to look at him. For a moment, everything stopped. Then Max did something that would amaze everyone. Something that would be talked about for years. Something that proved dogs truly are man's best friend. He barked. Not just any bark. A command bark. An alpha bark. A sound that said, "Stop. Now." The pigs froze. In the animal kingdom, authority matters. Max had it. They could hear it in his voice. See it in his stance. But this was just the beginning. 8 massive pigs stared at Max. The German Shepherd stood perfectly still. His brown eyes locked onto each pig. One by one. His message was clear. Back away from the boy. The largest pig took a step forward. It weighed 400 pounds. Muscles rippled under pink skin. This was its territory. Its pen. Who was this dog to give orders? Max didn't flinch. He'd faced down coyotes before. Scared off wild dogs. Size didn't matter. Heart did. The pig snorted loudly. A challenge. It lowered its massive head, prepared to charge. That's when Max did something incredible. He stepped directly between the pig and Ethan. His body became a living shield, every muscle tensed, ready for impact. Max, Ethan whispered from behind him. I'm scared. The dog's ears twitched, but he didn't turn around. Couldn't turn around. The moment he looked away, the pigs might rush forward. Instead, Max spoke in the only language he had. A low, rumbling growl. It started deep in his chest, grew louder, more threatening. The sound sent chills through the pen. This wasn't an angry dog. This was a protector, a guardian, something primal and powerful. The lead pig hesitated. Animals understand dominance. They respect it. This dog radiated authority like heat from a fire. Slowly, carefully, Max began to move. He backed toward Ethan, one step at a time. His eyes never left the pigs. His body stayed between them and the boy. Can you stand up? Max seemed to ask with his eyes. Ethan understood somehow. He scrambled to his feet. Mud dripped from his clothes. His legs shook with fear. But he was standing. Max felt the boy behind him. Good. Now came the hard part. Getting to the fence. The pen was 20 feet across. The fence seemed miles away. 8 pigs blocked different paths. Each one weighed more than Max and Ethan combined. But Max had something they didn't. A plan. He barked once. Sharp and commanding. The pigs jumped at the sound. In that split second, Max spun around. His mouth gently grabbed Ethan's shirt sleeve. Follow me, his actions said. Stay close. Together, they began to move. Max led. Ethan stumbled behind. The dog's grip on his sleeve was firm but gentle. Never hurting, always guiding. The pigs regrouped quickly. They surrounded the pair again. Curious snouts poked forward. Heavy bodies pressed closer. Max stopped walking. He released Ethan's sleeve. Then he did something that took incredible courage. He sat down, right there in the mud, in the middle of 8 dangerous pigs. He sat calmly and waited. The pigs were confused. This dog wasn't running, wasn't fighting, just sitting. Their animal instincts told them to investigate. One by one, they approached Max, sniffing, checking. The dog remained perfectly still, like a statue made of fur and patience. While the pigs focused on Max, Ethan saw his chance. The fence was only 10 feet away. He could make it, if he was quiet, if he was careful. The boy took one small step, then another. The mud tried to hold his sneakers, but fear gave him strength. 5 feet from the fence, 4 feet, 3 feet. That's when disaster struck. Ethan's foot slipped on a wet rock. He fell hard. His elbow hit the fence post with a loud crack. The sound echoed through the pen like a gunshot. Every pig spun toward the noise. 8 sets of eyes locked onto the fallen boy. The spell was broken. The protection was gone. The largest pig charged. 400 pounds of muscle and momentum. Heading straight for Ethan. The boy tried to crawl away, but he was too slow, too small. Max saw it all in slow motion. The charging pig, the terrified boy, the moment when everything could go wrong. He didn't think, didn't plan, didn't hesitate. Max launched himself through the air. Not at the pig. That would be suicide. Instead, he threw his body over Ethan, covering the boy completely. The pig's massive shoulder hit Max's back. The impact sent both dog and boy tumbling toward the fence. They rolled together through the mud, a tangle of fur and fear. But Max never let go. His body stayed wrapped around Ethan, protecting him from hooves, from weight, from harm. They crashed against the wooden fence. Max yelped in pain. His ribs screamed. His shoulder burned. but Ethan was safe underneath him. "Max!" Ethan cried. "Are you okay?" The dog lifted his head slowly. Everything hurt, but he was alive. More importantly, Ethan was alive. The pigs had backed away again. Even they seemed shocked by what happened. This dog had sacrificed himself for a human child, something they'd never seen before. Max struggled to his feet. His left leg didn't want to support weight, but he stood anyway. He had one job left. Get this boy out of here. Climb, Max seemed to say with his eyes. Climb now. Ethan understood. The fence rail was right there. He could reach it. His small hands grabbed the wood. His feet found purchase on the lower rail. Up he went, like a little monkey. Fear and adrenaline gave him speed. In seconds, he was sitting on the top rail. Safe. But Max was still trapped below. Still hurt. Still surrounded by confused pigs. "Come on, Max," Ethan called. "You can do it." Max looked up at the fence. 6 feet high. Impossible to jump with an injured leg. He'd used all his strength protecting Ethan. That's when they heard the voice. "Ethan, where are you?" Aunt Sarah. Her boots pounded across the farmyard. She'd finally noticed the boy was missing. "Here!" Ethan screamed from the fence. "We're here. Max saved me." Aunt Sarah rounded the barn at full speed. Her eyes took in the scene instantly. Ethan on the fence. Max in the pen. 8 agitated pigs milling around. "Oh my God," she breathed. "How did you?" She didn't finish the question. There wasn't time. Max was still in danger. The pigs were getting restless again. Aunt Sarah grabbed a long pole from beside the barn. She vaulted over the fence in one smooth motion. Years of farm work had made her strong. Quick. Fearless. "Easy, girls," she called to the pigs. "Back away now." The pigs knew her voice. Trusted her. They moved aside as she approached Max. The dog was trying not to show his pain. But Aunt Sarah could see it. The way he favored his left side. The careful way he breathed. "Come here, boy," she whispered. "Let's get you out of there." Gently, she lifted Max in her arms. All 70 pounds of him. He didn't fight. Didn't struggle. He trusted her completely. Over the fence they went. To safety. To solid ground. To where Ethan waited with tears streaming down his dirty face. The moment Aunt Sarah set Max down, Ethan threw his arms around the dog's neck. "You saved me," he sobbed. "You saved my life." Max's tail gave one weak wag. His job was complete. The boy was safe. Nothing else mattered. But something magical happened in that moment. A bond formed that would last forever. Between a 6-year-old boy and a hero dog. Between 2 souls who found each other when it mattered most. Aunt Sarah looked down at them both. The muddy boy. The injured dog. And she smiled through her own tears. "Well," she said softly, "I guess you two belong together now." She was right. From that day forward, Max and Ethan were inseparable. The best of friends. The closest of family. And whenever anyone asked about the scars on Max's shoulder, Ethan would proudly tell the story. How his dog became a hero. How love conquered fear. How sometimes the greatest courage comes in the smallest packages. But that wasn't the end of their story. The best part was still to come. The veterinarian arrived within an hour. Dr. Martinez had been treating farm animals for 20 years. She'd seen everything. But when she examined Max, something special happened. "This dog has 3 cracked ribs," she announced. A sprained shoulder. Multiple bruises. Ethan's parents gasped. His mother covered her mouth. His father shook his head in disbelief. "But here's the remarkable thing," Dr. Martinez continued. "He positioned his body perfectly. Every injury he took protected that boy. This wasn't random. This was calculated sacrifice." Ethan sat beside Max on the porch. His small hand rested on the dog's head. Max's breathing was slow but steady. His eyes stayed focused on the boy. "Will he be okay?" Ethan whispered. Dr. Martinez smiled. "He'll be fine. Dogs heal fast. Especially heroes." That word hung in the air. Hero. Max was a hero. Everyone could see it now. "Can I help take care of him?" Ethan asked. "I think he'd like that," Dr. Martinez replied. Heroes need good nurses. From that moment, Ethan became Max's devoted caretaker. Every morning, he checked the dog's bandages. Every afternoon, he brought fresh water. Every evening, he sat beside Max and told him stories. Once upon a time, Ethan would begin. There was the bravest dog in Nebraska. Max's tail would wag weakly. Even injured, he loved story time. The first week was the hardest. Max couldn't run, couldn't jump, could barely walk without limping. But Ethan never left his side. When Max was thirsty, Ethan brought water. When Max was lonely, Ethan sang songs. When Max hurt too much to sleep, Ethan curled up beside him on the porch. "We're a team now," Ethan announced to anyone who would listen. "Max and me. Forever and ever." Aunt Sarah watched this friendship bloom with wonder. She'd never seen such devotion from a 6-year-old. Most children forgot about injured animals quickly. But not Ethan. "He's growing up," she told his parents. This experience changed him. It was true. Before the pig pen incident, Ethan had been just another curious child. Now he was something more. Responsible, caring, mature beyond his years. By the second week, Max was walking better. His ribs still ached. His shoulders still clicked when he moved. But his spirit was returning. That's when Ethan made an important decision. "I want to learn about all the animals," he told Aunt Sarah, "so I can keep everyone safe." Aunt Sarah's eyes sparkled. "Well then, let's start your education." Every day became a new lesson. Ethan learned about chickens, how they needed protection from foxes, how they laid eggs when they felt safe. He learned about horses, how to approach them slowly, how to read their body language, how to earn their trust. He learned about cows, how they were gentle giants, how they protected their babies, how they remembered kindness. And yes, he learned about pigs, how they were actually very intelligent, how they played rough because that's their nature, how they needed respect, not fear. "Pigs aren't mean," Aunt Sarah explained. "They're just big and strong, like friendly giants who don't know their own power." Ethan nodded seriously. "Like when my baby cousin hugs too hard." "Exactly," Aunt Sarah smiled. "Same idea." Max watched these lessons carefully. Even injured, he felt responsible for Ethan's safety. But slowly, he began to relax. The boy was learning, growing, becoming wise. By the third week, something magical happened. Max was strong enough for short walks. Ethan held his leash gently. They moved slowly around the farmyard together. "Look, Max," Ethan pointed to the pig pen. "There are your friends." The pigs rushed to the fence when they saw Max. They snorted and grunted excitedly. There was no anger, no fear, just curiosity about the dog who had visited their home. "They remember you," Ethan giggled. "They want to say sorry." Max approached the fence cautiously. His nose touched the wire. A pig's snout appeared on the other side. They sniffed each other through the barrier. Peace, understanding, forgiveness. "See," Ethan said wisely. "Everyone can be friends. We just have to be smart about it." Max's tail wagged agreement. This boy had learned the most important lesson of all. Respect and wisdom prevented problems. Love solved everything else. The fourth week brought Ethan's parents to a difficult decision. Summer was ending. They needed to return home to California, back to their apartment in the city. "Can Max come with us?" Ethan asked hopefully. His parents exchanged glances. They lived in a small apartment. No yard. No space for a big dog. It wouldn't be fair to Max. "Honey," his mother said gently. "Max belongs here. This is his home." Ethan's face fell. Tears filled his eyes. "But we're best friends now." Aunt Sarah knelt beside him. "Best friends don't have to live together to stay connected." "What do you mean?" "You can visit every summer. Write letters. Send pictures. Max will be here waiting for you." Ethan looked at Max. The dog's brown eyes seemed to understand. They held a promise, a commitment, an unbreakable bond. "Will you wait for me?" Ethan whispered. Max licked the boy's face once. Gently, lovingly. That was his answer. Yes. Always yes. The last night was the hardest. Ethan slept on the porch with Max, under the Nebraska stars, listening to farm sounds, memorizing every moment. "I'll never forget you," Ethan promised. "You're my hero." Max rested his head on the boy's chest. He could hear the child's heartbeat. Strong, steady, brave. This boy would grow up to do great things. Max was sure of it. Their adventure had planted seeds of courage, kindness, responsibility. The morning of departure came too soon. Ethan hugged Max for 10 full minutes. Neither wanted to let go. "Be good," Ethan whispered. "Protect the farm. Come back soon," Max seemed to say with his eyes. As the car pulled away, Max sat perfectly still, watching, waiting, until the dust settled and silence returned. But this wasn't sadness. This was love. The kind that survives distance, time, everything. 6 months later, a letter arrived. Aunt Sarah read it to Max. "Dear Max, I'm learning to be a veterinarian. Just like Dr. Martinez. I want to help animals like you helped me. I think about you every day. See you this summer. Love, Ethan." Max's tail wagged so hard his whole body wiggled. His boy was coming home. That summer, Ethan returned. Taller, smarter, but still the same loving child Max remembered. They picked up their friendship exactly where they'd left it. Every summer after that, the same thing happened. Ethan would arrive. Max would be waiting. Together, they would explore the farm, care for animals, share adventures. Years passed. Ethan became a teenager. Then a college student studying veterinary medicine. Then a real veterinarian with his own practice. Max grew older too. Gray crept into his muzzle. His steps became slower. But his love for Ethan never dimmed. On his final summer visit, Dr. Ethan brought something special. A small bronze plaque. It read, "Max, hero, friend, teacher." He mounted it beside the barn door, where everyone could see it, where everyone would remember. "Thank you," Ethan said quietly, "for everything you taught me." Max's old eyes sparkled with pride. His boy had become a man, a good man, someone who dedicated his life to helping animals. The circle was complete. That night, Aunt Sarah found them both sleeping on the porch, man and dog, side by side. Just like always, some friendships are bigger than time, stronger than distance, more powerful than anything in this world. Max and Ethan proved that love comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a boy who cares for an injured dog. Sometimes it's a dog who sacrifices everything for a frightened child. But always, always, it's the choice to put someone else first. To be brave when it matters. To love without expecting anything back. That's what heroes do. That's what Max did. That's what Ethan learned. And that's a lesson worth remembering forever.